You're welcome. No, it'll happen eventually. So we're excited to have you here at 1 Million Cups, and today's presenter is near and dear to my heart, but I won't jump ahead too far. For those of you that haven't been here yet, 1 Million Cups is really designed to create a space that is welcoming, inviting, and supportive, and caffeinated, super caffeinated. So if you haven't had your cup of coffee, it's at the back of the room. And also there's a great QR code back there on the screen to check in so that we get credit, right? Because this is all about points and winning. I'm just kidding. I'm used to talking to my 14-year-old son and explaining the importance of learning systems and winning. So not that you have to win, but you have to learn the systems. Anyways, so back to 1 Million Cups and winning. If you would check in with the QR codes, that would be awesome. We caffeinate and connect here at 1 Million Cups. And so every Wednesday, we have this session at 9:30 here. You're here. Tell your friend. The best way to get more folks here is to personally reach out to them, send them an email, drive them, go to their house, bring them their first cup of coffee. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. I mean, you can. Get a picture. If you do it, get a picture. And we'll include it on our social media. And then, Kim, also, we have a Facebook page, correct? And so if you are curating your own experience, please feel free to like, tag, subscribe to the YouTube and also the social media. And so we can get that information for you. So there's a glare on that one. Okay. Strengthen entrepreneur systems and ecosystems. Yes, so we already covered that. Check. Next. Oh, yes, we're recruiting. Do you want to be part of this fun team? Do you wonder what we do behind the scenes? This is your opportunity to get more involved in creating the ecosystem you crave. So talk to one of us that has one of these fancy shirts on, and we will help you do more of this. Yeah, no script. You're welcome. All right. So today, it is my distinct pleasure to introduce to you Dr. Freeze. But before I do that, she's going to talk about the Innovation Hub. And so the goal of 1MC is to allow our presenters to present in 6 minutes, right? So that it's quick and efficient and you guys know what to expect, but there's not really any parameters on what I get to say. So I'm gonna take 25 minutes and I'm gonna, no, I'm just kidding. I just wanted to give you the mic. Yes! My guy. It's anyways, and so the Innovation Hub, Kim's going to talk all about it, but really it has been a long-time, collaborative, collective, co-created space through Jackson and Josephine County, trying to build up the ecosystems, and it's allowed some resources to be infused in helping with some of the processes to connect this new innovation hub for Southern Oregon. So I wasn't really going to go 25 minutes. So it is, I know, woo! And so everybody, unless you want me to make you dance like we did last week, let's put our hands together and welcome Dr. Kim Freeze to stage.
I love that. So love that. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the lovely introduction. I am going to start out a little bit different. I want to share some information with the 1MC. We will have rotating different events on the Wednesday. So if we don't have a presenter, we'd like to use this platform to invite you, thank you, to present on even something that you offer the community or you offer entrepreneurs. We have a couple of really fun educational platforms coming up. We'd like to do something in November that's give back, so maybe have organizations that give back in our community present. So I'll share more about that. And Joe, I think he was talking about music and fun, so it might be a little bit different, but we're going to maybe have kind of a party to celebrate all we. I knew Tinny would be very happy about this. Costumes optional. Yes. I know. So just stay tuned. I think it's going to be really fun. As we evolve and get to know all of you in our community, using this platform to better serve our entrepreneurs and our businesses and all contribute to the economic well-being that is so important. Economic development is so important. So I have a story before I start. I'm not on my 6-minute clock yet. I have to tell you, this was fabulous. Christian and Ed are here in the audience today. So I want to tell you about the 1 Million Cups, how it works with coffee. So I randomly find spaces and I go sit in them. And I started handing out 1MC flyers, just having these conversations while I'm drinking coffee. And so I ran into someone. I was meeting with a potential venture capitalist, trying to encourage them to kind of get involved with what we're doing. And so I saw someone who I went to visit their restaurant. They weren't there, and talked to them about being a presenter, and they happened to be in the space. So we had this great conversation. Then another person came over and said, "What are you talking about?" And so I started talking about this, 1MC, but also about the food and beverage industry and, small manufacturing, how important it is, and blah, blah, blah. And so this person actually has a product. I'm like, wow, I'd love to create my product and get it out there. So here's the conversation. So I'm leaving, and Christian was great. I'm leaving, and I hand out another flyer, and I'm soliciting the person who owns a coffee shop to present. That's how I roll. And I hear just this word, entrepreneurship. So I go over to the table, and there's just a fantastic group of people at this table. And I said, "I'm sorry, but I was eavesdropping, I admit it. But I heard you just the energy, and you were talking about entrepreneurship." So we have a conversation. Find out that Christian will be fun later if you all want to connect what Christian does. Then Ed heard us talking, and Ed came over. And here's a website builder who has their own domain company. Like, how great would that be for entrepreneurs? And then Ed has his own healthcare, an app. And so he heard, and he came over and said, "Hey, can I join the conversation?" All over cups of coffee. It was the best day ever. I had the best day. I really wanted to do a jig and dance down the street, but I didn't want to get I kind of kept like that. But the point is, if we don't have these conversations, this is never going to move. This work around the Southern Oregon Innovation Hub is not going to happen. I'm only one human, and I have some great people in my tribe, and I'm glad to be a part of Tania's team of unicorns. It's quite an honor. But it's what you all do in this space, what you say when you go out there. Do we really want to make it happen? Do we want to have economic development? Do we want to support some of you have incredible businesses and things you're doing in our community? How can we elevate that and celebrate that? I can't do it alone. I'm going to tell you, I'm exhausted. I've been running in 12 hours, just thank goodness for coffee. But I just want to start out. I'm going to share about the Southern Oregon Innovation Hub so you have some content. But I want to just say how important you are, really. At the So Ready board meeting, a really sweet colleague, Amy Brown, just worked so hard. She shared something about the circle of influence, and it really resonated with me. And she talked about what she does. And she thought about the connections she's made and the relationships she has. And so someone needed something in the community. So they asked her, and she talked to someone that she knows that could maybe help them. And that person that she talked to knew someone else. And then that person knew someone else. By the end of the day, that entrepreneur, that business that was struggling, guess what they had? Support. They had answers. So another business is able to thrive because of that circle of influence. And I told Amy you should brand that because it really resonated with me. And so you all are part of our 1MC family and our circle of influence, and that's really great what you all do. And all of you are important. The finance, the capital, mentorship. Damon and I were talking about how important that is, hearing our stories, because you don't know what the next great idea is out there, or these artists that are in our community. These are people that need to be rallied and supported. So I'm just going to lead with that, and then I'm going to start my 6 minutes. Tania, you probably should time me. At least I don't have the bowling alley concept to present to last night. That was like in the movies. But thank you, Ed and Christian. Thank you for letting me be a part of your conversation, and thank you for being here today. It just goes to show you, around a cup of coffee, that amazing things can happen when we talk out in the community. So Southern Oregon Innovation Hub was established through Business Oregon, the Regional Innovation Hub Planning Grant. So Business Oregon had something called the 10-year innovation plan. Very cool, to bring more innovation, tech, AI, science, to bring more people to Oregon to help develop economic development. What happened? Dang. Oh, Trever, I don't know what happened. Now it's going forward. Let me go back. Technology and I have a very tenuous relationship. very tenuous, but thank goodness I have Trever here. So it was developed, you can look it up if you want an interesting read. And so it was just the Business Oregon saying, hey, you know what, we got to do something. We need to bring innovation. We need to grow our economy. There's things that need to be done, and we're behind on innovation in the nation. So this was kind of the premise. So out of that, funding was created. That funding was set for people to be on the ground, boots on the street to get this work done because, Business Oregon's here. So we were one of 9 hubs funded. It was a great honor and amazing team. Worked a lot of years, 3 years into it now, to bring this to fruition. So we have some funding, and that looks like some programming primarily. So we are not doers of the hubs. We are connectors and facilitators. Someone told me the other day I was the thread, and I really like that. We don't do things, we don't duplicate things. We ask you what you need. And I mean, even finance groups, if you want to get together and have an event, we have money for that. We have programming. It's collaborative partnerships to bring programming to our community to get this word out. So that's the part of it. We are just the people to get you to connect with one another. So the what is ecosystem stewardship. That means all of us taking care of Jackson and Josephine County, taking care of our entrepreneurs, our business, our building an ecosystem of collaboration, trust, and relationships, meaningful networking, why I was so passionate about the 1MC, and then also other events, connection, educational programming. I'm a huge proponent of that. I'm actually teaching a class tomorrow night. I'm volunteering at Project Youth Plus because I believe youth need to learn about entrepreneurship. So I created a cool, funky class. We'll see if they like it. So I'm going to teach those at different for Project Youth Plus. So if you have an idea you want to teach, let me know. Gaps in services. There are gaps in services that we're identifying. So a lot of this is a lot of research and collecting data. And then we need a system that's more cohesive and supportive. What I loved about this, why I applied for the job, because I didn't know if I really wanted a job, but I'm so passionate about entrepreneurship, was entrepreneurs are at the center of the effort. This is not about anything else. This is about our entrepreneurs and our businesses. How? We need to build an entrepreneurial ecosystem. You are part of that system. We need to connect entrepreneur support organizations. There's a new acronym for you called ESOs, Entrepreneur Support Organizations. All of you in the room are there. Whether you realize it or not, you'll have something to offer and give to help entrepreneurs. We're identifying resources, so I do a lot of driving and asking, what do you do and how do you do it? And how does that help entrepreneurs? So it's a lot of fun, though, a lot of fun. And then connecting ESOs with entrepreneurs. So this work sunsets unless we get more funding. June 30th, this project ends. That's why I'm really saying a call to action for all of you. The goal is that we do this work, but then you pick it up and you carry it forward. Our community carries this forward. Those relationships we built, the communication, we have to build a collaborative and support engine, and that means all of us. I don't want it to go away. It's super fun. So again, that call to action, outreach and recruitment with the community and organization to identify and locate entrepreneurs. I have to tell you, I thought this was going to be so easy. It's not easy. I mean, I was really optimistic. I kind of went into it, but coffee shops work well. And I learned a lot about just talking about things. You are welcome to share out anything on 1MC to join us. It is for the community. So don't ever feel like you can't talk about SOH or 1MC. We need connectors and facilitators. We also need to nurture and strengthen our existing relationships and build new ones. I think that the other thing is we don't value our relationships enough and communicate. We got to get back to that. We really, really do. And our young folks need that. The one thing they ask me about is how lonely they feel and they don't feel connected. So really important. We need to provide community and entrepreneurs with new opportunities. That's the parties, the events, the stuff that's fun. And then we have to work together to transform the regional ecosystem. So I had to share a picture. We were all at the Innovation Expo. And Sammy Brown, me, I don't know this lady that follows me around with the glasses. I can't remember, what's her name? Oh, yeah, Tania. Christine, and then John Williams is a part of the Southern Oregon Innovation Hub on our board. So collaborative programming, and I want to say a shout out to Trever for always being open to my crazy ideas. And when I zoom in, I look like Kramer on Seinfeld. I'm like, hey, Trever, what up? Collaborative programming. And he accepts it. He's like, okay, I got this. You can't mute me, though, when I'm in person. I think he probably prefer I'm on microphone and be like, take him off. I love that. Robust entrepreneur support. We got to be the catalyst for change. We have to be the catalyst for change. Springboard for lasting positive change. I hope that the 1MC is a start. work together in new capacities. I should have put go to coffee shops because there's cool people in coffee shops. And then harness our collective resources. So if you have resources that would support entrepreneurs, please share them with us. Please give me your cards. I have some of your cards. I actually was promoting a couple of things. The free checking was a hot item, and I was sharing that. And I had someone say, okay, I got to go in and do this. So what you offer for entrepreneurs, tell me. Or credit unions, you have special rates, you have things, please tell me, because I am out in the community. I will be a conduit, and I will connect you as entrepreneurs, support organizations with the entrepreneurs. So I think I have a few people heading your way. We want to position the Southern Oregon as a hub of innovation and entrepreneurship. We want to attract talent and investment from around the world. Why do we always think like right here? The world's huge. Like, how come we can't bring people in? We have a beautiful region with a lot to offer. Think big, people, think big. I'm always reaching out to random companies and people, and thank goodness they opened the door for me. And we don't always have the door open, but I always feel like there's a possibility of maybe getting a crack in the door. I once told someone I never take no for an answer. It's a maybe. It can be annoying because people go no, and I'm like, is that a maybe or is that a no, hard no? There's ways to do it. Happenings to look for. Design and Build Innovation Jam. I pitched for some money and got some money. And Tania has graciously offered to host at the Crater Works, and I'll give more information. It's a Friday, Saturday event, and it is going to be wild off the charts. They're going to come in and take design thinking, get a break. They're going to build in a makerspace. Then the next day, they get to come in and have another little intensive design thinking, and they're going to build and prototype, and we're going to talk. It's going to be wild and loud. They're going to pitch, and I have prize money and mileage reimbursement. So if you know any college students that are interested and have an idea, if you want to join us at the event and be a judge and cruise around, everything we do is open to community. It is not siloed, so you're all welcome. But I think it's going to be really fun. Artists, I invite artists because I know that that conceptual design phase is fun, like 3D printers, and if you haven't been to Crater Works, it's amazing. Pitch competitions, Trever Yarrish, design sprints. We're going to speak to this guru about that and hopefully offer some events. Our friends Thorny and Ignite events. We want to offer workshops, and mentorship is important. If you want to have a mentor, Damien, oh, sorry, that didn't mean to look down at you. Got to stop doing that. And then also startup happy hours. So if you know a brewery, distillery, winery who would love to be a part of this, let's go visit them. I have funding. Let's host an event there, celebrate their business. We can all meet there and have fun. ESO retreats coming up, and then there's an innovation festival in the works, huge, about a week long. And we would offer it in Grants Pass and also Medford and Ashland. So it would be a festival and celebration of artists, musicians, creatives, AI, tech. It's in the works. We have some support, so look for that. That will be huge. Kat, we need you up and running so that we can connect. And then leadership workshops. So anyway, same thing, kind of design and build, mentorship. We're collecting data. Working on a youth entrepreneurship program. Next steps, still strengthen and build relationships, milestones. This is all the work in the SOIH. It's invisible. It's out there in the cloud somewhere. It's not perpetuated by a physical space. Guess what it is? It's human capital. Human capital. We don't have a space. We will partner with the innovation hubs and the Hive and good partners to get it out there. We have to rely on you. We don't have anything else. That's what we need is you. We need to identify entrepreneurs, recruit, mentor, and build our ecosystem that is our home and invest in our ecosystem. I'm always continuing to improve, and I think that we're always a work in progress as humans, but I will tell you one thing that's on this slide, you need to always have fun. You gotta have fun. Why do we love this work? Why did I leave a job to do this? It's so fun and rewarding, right? There's purpose. It feels good. Every day when I wake up, I am excited. Sometimes tired, but I'm excited. As Tania yawns. Side project before I end. I appreciate your time. I created a nonprofit, and I started a company, Seek Collective Catalyst, LLC. I put it on the side when I took up this opportunity, but when I left my role as dean at RCC, it wasn't feeding my soul. And one day I was driving to work, and I looked out, and I went, I don't feel like I'm feeding my soul. I feel like I'm losing my soul. It wasn't anything to do with the college. I love the college. I still teach psychology, but I felt something was missing, and that sun was coming up. And you know how the valley is when you're driving from here, I call it the big hill? I felt this sign, and I resigned. My husband was a little shocked. I called him and said, I'm resigning, and I found a puppy that needs rescue. Can you pick it up? Will the door be unlocked when I get home? He said, talk later. What time do I got to get the puppy? So she had some health issues. So he went and adopted a puppy. That's good partnership, right? That's what we all do for each other. If you called me and asked me anything, I would do it for you in a heartbeat. I wouldn't question it. And that's what I wanted to do with Seed Collective Catalyst. And again, I appreciate Trever and all of you for supporting me in this endeavor. And Seed and Dirt, Tania also has a nonprofit, so Seed and Dirt just seems to go together. But anyway, what I'm building out is I'm writing a book about it, my own experience, nitty-gritty entrepreneurship. I was an entrepreneur for almost 30 years. I about 23 different businesses. I was a serial entrepreneur. I also flipped houses and did some other things. But anyway, but I want to create a space eventually, and I want to have like an ideating, kind of an open lab incubator. I'd love to see one in Grants Pass, Medford, and Ashland. And so anyway, I'm working on that, more to come on that, but I do have some curriculum and some cool things that I will be able to embed in that. And I'm traveling to Minnesota next week as a key presenter for NACE, which is the National Association of Community College of Entrepreneurship. Then I got asked by this Minnesota to stay and be a part of this working with entrepreneurs in Minnesota. So I get to have a day session with just hanging out with entrepreneurs. And then we have another organization in Minnesota that's noticing what we're doing out here and wants to, they're a large foundation and they're interested in what we're doing. So hopefully, and I'm presenting for them in December. What happened? I got out and I started talking and connecting because people want to feel good and make a difference. So on that, I thank you very much and have a great day. All right, Q&A. Thank you. Oh, so much. So the question was, what do I need from the community as an action item? Are you ready? I need you to share information out about the 1MC. I need you to share your resources. I need for you to offer an event. I'll do the work. I have money. I need you to offer an event. I need you to offer to be a mentor, create a workshop, any of those things. Anything you do helps build that ecosystem. Again, I'm one human. I can't do it all. I want to really badly. I should have did this when I was in my 20s. But yeah, I need all of you to just what you offer. You're all so unique and incredible and talented in your own ways. Share out what you do. Meeting Ed and Christian and what Christian offers. Like there's things, so many things entrepreneurs need. It's not about me. It's about the entrepreneurs. So what do you offer for an entrepreneur? And let me know. And then also talk to someone else, that circle of influence. Who do you know in your circle of influence that could possibly help an entrepreneur? That would be my ask. And have funding for the events. Like I'm saying, hey, it's fun. We're good. We're fun. We're a good time. So, yeah. Yeah. Was I that? I shared everything. You have no burning questions about the hub or anything? I'm kind of proud of myself. Oh, yes, Kat.
So when you talk about events, specifically, my brain went there. So I was thinking
Awesome.
about some things are they're outside the realm of what my concept is. So when you talk about like a design sprint, or you talk about a pitch fest for something, those are people that already have concepts that they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea of having an incubator space is kind of where I really kind of gravitate
Yeah.
towards. So how do you marry the two of those if you have people that just have ideas? So the ideation space seems to me to come first before we can pitch
Mm-hmm.
and do things. So is there, in your mind, is there a logical step that we can help you with?
Yes. So the question was, what are the logical steps around events and then also entrepreneurs that have ideas? Because we want to foster both, right? So I would say that at the 1MC, we've talked about allowing, and I have people signing up now, to allow a MC to be an idea, right? So Paris attended last week, so someone to come up and say, hey, I have these ideas. I've worked with him for 2 years. You get a couple minutes. Tell your idea. Get out in the universe. So we do need those ideation spaces because, right, that's that beginning. Those people who are just there, they're thinking about it. But we also need to, while we're doing that, concurrently foster people who are already there, that are starting up, they have an idea. I know people who are like maybe in the middle of launching. So that's why I say that I need all of you. So one is having the pitch events for people who are there and need to get it out in that world, like the Invent Oregon students and those, right? We have to have those because they're fun. And they're really good for business people because they're going to have to pitch their idea. They're going to have to go talk to a bank. They're going to have to do things. So it's really good for entrepreneurs, no matter where you're at in any stage. And also not to be fearful. Like, you got an idea, rock it, say it. That's why we do this. So I see the need for all things. Kat, to answer that, I see the need to use our maker spaces, the Hive. I see the need for the design sprints, the pitches, but also really need those idea spaces because I've talked to a lot of people who have some super cool ideas, like what Joel is doing, changing the world. Like, we have to help them get it out because they don't know how. Did you all know that in research, by the time we're adults, we've lost about 96% of our creative ability? Yes, in our brain. It starts going down to about 60% in middle school. We are not fostering creativity in our generations and in ourselves. And so I would like to see more opportunities like that in our 55 plus entrepreneurs. There's a lot of people that want to restart, they didn't get a chance. So creative spaces around that for everyone, but I need all of the events because I don't want it to miss anybody. Does that make sense? And I also want to alleviate any like inertia and fear about that. Like, who cares? Say what you want to do. Emma's going to be our presenter next week. She has a new concept. It's cool. Get it out there. Give it life. Let it breathe. James, do you have a burning question for me as a vendor? Anyone else? Yes, Elizabeth. Yeah. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I was going to give you a notebook. I'm rethinking that. I think you're at a pen level now. We have swag when you attend more events, and Trevor reminded me of that this morning. 5 years? Like, is this my dream or what I think is possible? My vision? Ooh, all right. I see downtown communities thriving and people moving around and not empty spaces. I think we make it more reasonable for people to start and co-share spaces. I see thriving entrepreneurships in our community that are growing so much so that they don't even have room for people to come in and create. I see our economic numbers going up. And I see new thriving businesses, and I see businesses that need succession plans, having people to come in with new innovative ideas and continue their businesses. I also hope that we continue growing, not like a Bend, because if you've ever read Bend won an award, like their plan was pretty incredible, and I see that on the future for just speaking to Grants Pass and Central Point's doing some great things, but I aspire to see us bringing people from all over the world into our beautiful community to contribute. And then also helping us solve the problems that are there. So in 5 years, I see it. We're always going to have problems. But I would like to see more problems solved, and more innovation, more creativity in our community to kind of elevate it, more fun and events and those kind of things would be cool. And also our artists and creatives in our community, because our communities, they need to be beautiful in music and art, and that really makes our communities beautiful. They also bring us together. I think like a big festival, like I go back to the medieval days, how they just, one of those, but I see us being where we're at, but better as far as economic development. And better, I'd like us to be this hub where people go, you have got to go to Southern Oregon. Their pitches are off the chart. They got this, they have that. I want to see the tourism, hospitality, I want to see it all just kind of elevate a different level. And then I hope I have like some spaces so I can go in there and have cool conversations and help people succeed. Is that the answer? So I didn't share the question, but if anyone's on live stream, what does it look like in 5 years with this work? And then also, I forgot to add, you all are taking it on, so that would be oh, yes, Trevor.
So my understanding is your position is currently a 1 year.
Correct.
Agreement, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So realistically, in your mind, what are you trying to accomplish in that 1 year?
Great question. So Trevor asked me, my position does sunset June 30th. It's kind of a cool one-year contract gig. And then when that ends, so what was the second part, Trevor?
What are you hoping to accomplish in this year? What are you trying to set
Perfect. Yeah, great question. So what am I hoping to set up to sustain this in the future if we sunset it June 30th? There are easily identifiable paths for entrepreneurs. They know who their ESOs are, where they need to go. That's a big lift, and that ESOs are having conversations, and there's more interaction and communication, because when it sunsets, ultimately, and I'm not in this role, you all got to take this. So that would be having a really good relationships built, collaboration, and I want events that are sustainable. I don't want them to go away. I want to make sure that these are on our calendar every year. And then those clear pathways for entrepreneurs. I'm very passionate about that. Because as a young entrepreneur, that was one of the things that I felt challenged. I was only barely turned 19. I didn't know where to go. Luckily, I had a cool mentor. And so mentorship, clear pathways for entrepreneurs, and then ESOs to be champions in the community. I don't need a lot, but I need champions to take this forward and go, can we love this? We want to do this. We are going to start, offering these educational opportunities, or, we're going to open our space up, or we're going to create a mentorship program or a leadership program, or, I'm going to open my business up to a space where entrepreneurs can find me and connect with me. That's what I hope. Oh, hi, Joel. Oh, that's a great question. So what events do I see would be beneficial to the community, and then also maybe what events, don't work? Number one, events don't work without, people, obviously. Like, that's the champions, building the champions. But one and dones don't work. I'm just going to start with that. When I was in California, we were part of this huge makerspace movement. We got $222 million from the state of California. I was very honored to be a part of that. It moved very fast, and we had 115 community colleges in a humongous state to make this work. I learned what didn't work. What didn't work was not an investment from your community. We did things, they just do pop-ups. It fell flat. They didn't have people involved. Like, the people who needed to be at the table, they didn't have anybody, so they do these pop-ups and go, oh, woo, we're going to do a pitch. It's going to be so fun. There's no connection. You can't do this solo. So I would say if we do anything, it has to be community. You have to have some context when you offer a pitch, so there has to be that lead up. Those workshops, the one MC, this platform for people to get in and honestly feel safe. So when we were not successful with some events, people didn't feel safe, like they could share what they wanted to share. They were nervous. So we redid everything we did. We started offering educational workshops. I'm huge on these. They were sometimes an hour and a half. But it started building this community of entrepreneurs that were confident enough to go to the events. And we also started building champions in the community. Some of the things that worked, there was a hacker lab in Sierra College. Was fabulous. Was it doing well? No, it was fabulous. 2 stories, had every state of the art. Someone had actually built the coolest Boba Fett metal thing. I was like, so cool. I totally wanted to walk away with it, but it didn't work. That was kind of heavy, and I was like, I got it. And they had textiles, they had everything, but what did they not have? The community. Right? The doors were locked. You had to have a passcode. There was really not anyone in the space, and they didn't have investment. So how did they change it? We all talked about it, and they connected with Sierra College, and I have a colleague, a good friend down there. When they connected with the college, much like how Kenea's connected with the schools, what happened? It changed. It was accessible to community college students, and it thrived. It's on fire. They actually built a new innovation hub on the campus at Sierra College. So Joel, to answer that, what works is when you have that community involvement and it's fun. And also, we as humans innately need something out of it, whether that we feel good, or Damien shared 3 things that I would love for him to share with all of you, but we need to feel something or get something out of it. It's just how we are, and it can be many different levels. But when you host an event like the jam that we're hosting in November, students get to be there, they get to talk, they get to have fun, and they get some prize money. So the events that really went well, pitches are fun. There's I won't say the word, but there's a failure night that's super fun. And you gather around and people show their failures in business. It is epic. I want you to know. It's epic. Very fun, because why we celebrate the success. You know what? Joe and I had a great conversation. The failures are rich in learning experience, and they're hilarious. Like, I totally fell on my booty quite a few times. It was kind of like, wow, that was rough, but wow, get back up and go. That has been valuable to get out there. Workshops, information. things not where we talk at people, but like the one MC where you share things and then you get together and talk about it. Those are really good. Trevor's more on the design sprints. I have ran various different events, but I will tell you what works is connection. So we had an innovation jam. It was a brainstorm I had. And so I talked to Marshall Doak and Eric Palmer. I said, hey, I really want to create an entrepreneurial ecosystem. This was 5 years ago. How do I do it? And so I created this idea of an innovation jam. And so we hosted our first one, got funded through Event Oregon, and PSU, Portland State University, supported us. What did we do? We were wild and lively, and it went really well. And we had 30 people. We didn't even advertise. It was fun. They knew we'd be there. They got to engage. It was hands-on. It was amazing. We had we talked. So the second year we had more structured class, and I asked the students, how did this feel? What would you want in the community? They said more opportunity to connect and be together and idea, because sometimes it's an iterative process. When you have an idea, it doesn't just go bam. It's iterative. You test it, it goes down, you market it in design thinking, talk to your customers. But along the way, you need to have conversations and events and things and workshops to help you get there. And they were like, one, they didn't get to use a cool equipment at Creative Works. They're like little kids looking in the glass room going, this would be so cool. They didn't get to do that. And then they wanted more conversations. They wanted to sit with me and have me tell them one of my rando crazy business stories and my rattlesnake story and all those things when I was working at the rock crushing plant. Yeah, I never forgot that one. And they want to hear real stories. So this year we changed it up. We're going to do 2 of them. So those are the things that work. All of you, they want to hear from you. They love that. They love the conversations. They want the nitty gritty. So that was a long answer. I'm sorry, but thank you for asking that. Yeah. Yes, Kat?
So I think in terms of when you started to talk about it's not one and done, that was the first thing I thought of.
Yeah, one and done. Yep.
I don't remember when this started. I think it was before COVID. We had the event.
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
And that was trying to get legs under it to be an annual
Yeah.
event.
Yeah.
It was a 1 day or 1 week.
Yeah.
And when you're talking, I see a number of things happening throughout the year that lead up to a week of this type of
Mm-hmm.
activity.
Yeah.
And it has to have the connection
Yeah.
between the school
Yes.
and
Yes.
and I truly do speak to the idea of having more older people involved.
Yes. Yes. Super important.
Because they have so much to offer and so many different things they've been ideating about for years and they haven't done anything.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Create that space.
Yeah.
So in your financial picture that you have, is there more money in the education realm?
Mm-hmm.
Or is there more money on the innovation realm
Yeah.
from the state or from the Fed? Do you know?
So in order to sustain these events and keep things going, not doing the one and done, and where does the funding come from? And I love it. Colleen knows this about me. I love funding. I love grants and money. It's just my thing I do. I had a secret heart box that my brother thought was chocolates, and he didn't like chocolates, and I hid my money in it under my bed. By the time I was 18, I had $18,000 because I was a little mini entrepreneur. I had a little, like 4-side business. I'm like 11 and 12. Thank goodness for bikes, and I lived in a small community, right? But money is an important factor, and actually I was talking to Trever a little bit about that. So there are different funding streams out there. There is a big movement. The economic development has some funding coming through. Biz Oregon has funding coming through. So to answer questions, multiple pots of money. But yes, there's a lot of money for innovation. There's a huge build grant, $50 million allocated in the state of Oregon, and we should be applying for it. It's all around AI and tech and all of that to bring it to your community. And so we're not hitting these grants. We're not, again, when I talk about ESOs that coming here, we have to come together to get these grants. So there is a lot on the innovation side. The colleges have access to a lot of money that we don't. It's just how it is. But we as a community and nonprofits, we can work, and you can get a fiscal sponsor. There's ways you can do it, but there is funding coming down the pipeline, actually a lot. So if you subscribe to those, hi Paris, that there is funding, and you just have to kind of start looking for it. And again, you got to collaborate in partnership. You got to strengthen your grant applications. You can't do it solo. So again, the partnerships are important. Our banks, our finance people, we have to build these, partnerships. And so there's a lot of grants, entrepreneurship innovation. I pitched again, and I'm on the books for maybe 25,000. I pitch. I go find the money, but getting connected with entrepreneurial organizations, like in Minnesota, I guarantee you I'll come back with business cards. And they will literally contact me and go, Kim, what do you need? Where can I give you money? I was back there, and then these folks want me to start this whole program, and like, we have like 125,000. Are you interested? I'm like, oh, what? Hello? You got to talk. You got to get out. But there are a lot of grants in the system for entrepreneurship innovation, especially around tech, bringing tech and AI into communities. So there's some good ones. Yeah. And I like it. It's very fun. Anyone else? Before, I want to thank all of you in the room for your partnership. Really do. Thank you. Thank you for an amazing Unsolved Mysteries event. I want to just cheer on James. So thank you. All right, leave it to Trevor.
All right, let's have another big hand for Dr. Kim Freeze. Thank you all for being here this morning. How many of you are from Medford or Ashland? Okay, all right, a handful, yeah. I'd love to get more people, obviously here, both Grants Pass, but Medford and Ashland. And part of what I've heard as feedback is it's a 1-hour event, and then I'm driving more than that, right? So what I'm going to offer is, and Damien, we have to talk, but what I'm going to offer is that on Wednesday mornings, following 1MC, to sort of create a little bit more opportunity for folks who are, especially folks who are coming from outside of the area, we're going to this space will be not just available, but we're going to be coming up with some creative ways to use the time afterwards as well. So some workshops, we'll basically post some topics we're going to be talking about, discussion items. We'll be maybe talking about some people's businesses in a more workshop setting after 1MC on Wednesdays. So at the very least, it will be a hangout space and collaborative space, but we will also be looking to be productive and creative in that time as well. So there's just maybe the potential to get a little bit more out of the trip, as well as a little bit more out of all these incredible people that are in the room, and leveraging the minds of the people who are able to hang out and continue on this path. I know it's a big chunk of a Wednesday, especially since we don't start till 9:30, but I think it's worth it, especially for those who are entrepreneurs. It's worth it to be in a space where you are supported, you are not alone, and you can talk about the things that are hard, and other people can, reflect back. Oh yeah, that's hard, and I was there, and here's how I moved past that. But it's just really important to have that camaraderie, especially in a rural area like we're in, and so. That's something that I'm putting out there. That's something I'm offering up. And so the space will be available to hang out in, and we will be, like I said, adding some more functionality to that time as well. Putting on my Hive hat, I also wanted to say that we've got some really cool events coming up. Man, we had an incredible First Friday this last Friday. For the Hive Art Hub. If you haven't been to one of our First Friday gallery opening events, it's amazing. We have, hundreds of people are coming through now. It's the hot spot on Friday nights. It's a lot of fun. We are having, new art being unveiled. We have collaborations with different other organizations. This month, we actually had authors from the Rogue Writers Association, or Guild, collective, there we go. Yes, one of those words. A bunch of authors submitted works, short stories, and then based on those short stories, artists created pieces. And so around the space, you'll see a short story, and there's a piece accompanying it. That was a collaborative effort that happened that was inspired for this month. And we will continue to do interesting things like that through the Hive Art Hub. It is an incredible experience. There's more than what you see here. We have the whole room is filled with different artists. There was how many artists here? Like 13 artists here, as well as the authors of those pieces were here in those presentations. It was a very cool event. So if you haven't been yet, please definitely put it on your on your schedule to come. We also often have live music on stage and just a really neat evening. I also wanted to say, James, give a shout out to James. Hey, anybody attend Art Along the Road this weekend? It was amazing, and hats off, James. Well done, well done. And thanks to the city for hosting that event. It's one of the coolest events in any town I've been to, so it's really, really amazing. One of three chalk art festivals in Oregon. Yep, and dare I say the coolest. But yes, it is amazing. We also, at the end of the month on the 25th, if you're into dancing, we have a house night here on the 25th, which is going to be amazing. That's right. It's called Hive House. Yes, it'll be amazing. We're going to start doing that once a month. And then on the 26th, we have Evan Burton with Heaven's Est, is formerly Indubious, is going to have his concert here with Alcyon Massive. That's going to be an amazing show. And then November 10th, we have Hot Buttered Rum coming from the Bay Area. They're incredible. If you haven't heard of them, look them up. Paris. Hey, do you have an email list? Yes, we do have an email list. Yeah. Actually, if you hop on Facebook and just hit us up, I can add you to that, or if you go to thehive.com, you can add yourself. So, yep, for sure. Awesome. I think that's all from the Hive right now. But yeah, thank you all for being here. Tell your friends. For 1MC, what I'll say is we have a list lined up now for the next at least like 6 weeks of speakers. Keep the speakers coming in, though. Keep telling everybody you know that is an entrepreneur that we have this opportunity. It's pretty amazing because not every one of those weeks is doubled up, and we have the ability to double up. That's ultimately, it'd be really cool if we had 2 speakers each week. That's the goal. But anyways, what our plan is we want to start posting in advance who's going to be speaking, and so we can look forward to that and all of that. So, any questions about 1MC, the Hive? We also have I'm not going to announce exactly who it is yet, but I believe we have a coffee sponsor coming online as of next week. So that'll be cool too. Yeah, woohoo! That's awesome. Thank you all for being here. Have a wonderful day.